Hello everyone, this is Oluwashundabiri from Lagos, Nigeria, and you are listening to the Drummersville podcast. On this show, I bring to you inspiring, educating, motivating, and transforming interview from pro drummers and other music professionals. On this episode, we'll be discussing on how to develop proper practice routine with Michael Oloyede. Uncle Michael Oloyede is one of the most sought after drummers in Lagos, Nigeria, where he runs his music outfit called Harmonix Music. He's a drummer, a band leader, and also a composer. Uncle Mike, can we meet you, please?
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Oloyede, and as Chiwon has said, I'm a drummer. I'm also a band leader, Native Brains, that's an Afrobeat, Afrocentric band. Then I also lead another band, the Blues Project. That's more of a blues. Blues, American blues music. That's what we do in that band, and we do contemporary jazz as well. I'm also a producer, and in my own way, little way, I'm a sound guy. I wouldn't say I'm a sound engineer, I would say I'm a sound guy. So welcome to Drummer's View podcast.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we'll be discussing on how to develop a proper practice routine. Drummers, musicians all over the world will be writing out their New Year resolution, and most of it is how to get better as a musician.
Yeah.
And getting better as a musician, you can't rule out a proper practice time and practice routine. And that is why we want to discuss what is a proper practice routine to you. And we're going to start with what should a proper practice time look like as a
Okay.
drummer?
I would like to rephrase or change the word proper to efficient practice routine. I know we're saying the same thing, proper, like the way it should be.
Yeah.
That could be subjective in terms of like different people might say, okay, this is the way your practice routine should be. That's the way your practice routine should be. Basically, because of different experiences and different approaches to learning.
Mm.
You understand? So, but I would rather rephrase and say an efficient way to practice, like so. And it's simply a practice routine that will get you from point A to point B. Point A meaning your present level, and point B meaning your desired level. So, if you really want to map out a proper practice routine, then you have to know where you are and know where you're going to. Then every other thing is in between point A and point B. Everything lies in between. So a proper practice section for a drummer, and as it were for every musician, is one that gets you from where you are to where you're going. So, like I said earlier on, you have to know where you are and have an idea of where you're going.
Okay.
Then the other thing comes into place, like what do you need to do to get you to point B? You understand, which is based on your evaluation of your present level. So a proper practice routine basically should be the one that will get you
From your
from where you
present
are
level to your
to
desired
your desired level
level.
over time. Over time.
Okay. So then, well, how do you now develop an habitual practice routine? Like you said, the first thing is to know your current level,
Yeah.
then know your desired level. So once that is out of the way, how do you now develop an habitual practice routine that you can follow to get you from that point A to the next point?
Okay. Like you said, habitual, which is a derivative of habit.
Yeah.
And habit is what you do over and over. So number one, you have to first evaluate yourself. How much time do you have at hand? Are you a working drummer or you have all the time all day to practice? So that will determine how long you can practice. So if you have 30 minutes, if you have 1 hour, if you have 2 hours, that will determine the things you will do in your practice session, having in mind where you want to be. You understand? So, and that will also determine how long it will take you to get to your desired destination. So time, how long do you have at your disposal? Now the other thing is, having done an evaluation, what are the things you need to work on? Are you lacking in technique? Are you lacking in musicality? Are you lacking in having a vast number of repertoire? Are you lacking in knowledge and grasp of different styles of music? Now, technique is a hand, is a foot technique. Musicality, how well do you interpret? Do you know your styles of music? Are you familiar with Afrobeat, jazz, juju, highlife, or whatever style you want to do? Punk, rock, Latin music. You understand? So all of that are questions you also have asked yourself in your evaluation process. Then the next thing is now to sit down and okay, at your present state, uh, rehearsals can be divided basically into two. There's a long-term goal and there's a short-term goal. The short-term goal can be okay. I'll be playing a gig in 3 days time, or I'll be playing in church in 3 days time. So certain songs has been shared with me. I need to learn those songs. Those are kind of short-term goals. You understand? So I need to learn them. So your focus is learning the music and playing it, being able to play it well on the day of the gig. A long-term goal could be, or maybe you're working on a particular technique. Foot could be hand, it could be foot. You're working on tone. You're working on dexterity and flow around the drum set. Or you're working on improvisation, ability to solo. Is it a free-form solo? Are you soloing to playing, improvising to a vamp? You understand? Then, or are you learning, studying the style of music? So those are the things that will go into your practice routine. Now, like I said earlier on, how long do you have to practice? If you have 20 minutes to practice, if you have 31 hours to practice, then you now allot time to each category of or to each area of practice. You understand? So each area of skill you want to develop, you want to focus on. So ideally, I always advise people to now to focus on maybe just three things at a time. Yes, sir. I've heard instances people say, "Oh, somebody practice 6 hours, 8 hours." That's a myth that people need to uh, get out of the way. If you have 8 hours to practice, fine, and you can do it and fully concentrate on what you do, fine. But as far as I'm concerned, if you have 1 hour, as long as you're consistent, you can practice Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, and you have 1 hour or 30 minutes and you are consistent, and there's a systematic approach to it whereby you monitor what you do the previous day. And you're able to monitor your progress. Exactly. So you know, okay, I worked on this yesterday. You have a journal. I work on this today. Tomorrow, this is what I'm going to work on. Over the past 7 days, oh, I've made progress. I was able to play my single strokes on 70 beats per minute, 16 notes subdivision. Now, after 7 days, I can play it on 80 beats per minute, and my notes are quite even. They are even, you understand, and clear. That's progression as far as I'm concerned. Rather than spend 4 hours on a Monday and the next time you have 4 hours to spend is the next Wednesday. So that gap, it's a lot. Anything that has to do with muscle memory and the likes, it takes, you need consistency basically to be able to make those skills a second nature, to move it from consciousness to subconsciousness and all of that. Yeah. So like I said, so basically the proper routine is all the things you want to say. I wouldn't say put technique, put style of music, improvisation. That different skills, you understand. You know yourself, you know what you're working on. Oh, I'm lacking, my left hand is slow. It's slower than my right hand. The notes I play with my left hand are not quite even, are not as clean as my right hand. So I know personally, no matter whatever I play, as long as I'm using my left hand, it's going to have an effect on my playing. So common sense will tell me that I should work on my left hand. So in my routine, I'll probably put okay exercises to help develop improve my left hand. So so the skills you really want to work on, you should plan them out, list them out, and put them in an allot time. So if you have 1 hour and you are working on three categories of things, you can say, okay, I'm going to work on uh 20 minutes on skills, 15 minutes on technique, uh, 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 20 minutes on maybe style. Maybe you have a particular book or a record. You understand? 15 minutes on maybe hand technique, and the other 15 minutes on another skill. Then you have in between you can have observe maybe 2 to 5 minutes break. That makes up 1 hour. So if you have 15 minutes and you take 5 minutes break in between, that makes 1 hour. So but if you have 2 hours at your disposal, you can increase the 15 minutes to 30 minutes, or you can put one more skill set, make it four. So you have if you have 2 hours, so you can have 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes in
and
four
have breaks
places
in
and
between.
have breaks in between. You understand? So
Yeah. You mentioned keeping a practice journal. In your experience, did you keep practice journal? And what is your practice journal like?
okay, funny enough, I did keep practice journal. At various times, it wasn't in a journal format like me having a notebook. At various times, it was me working with a particular, maybe 2, 3 sets of books, and I
Okay.
make notes on those
On
books.
those books.
Okay, today, exercise 1, 2, I did exercise. I take, okay, this is where I stopped yesterday. So today I'm doing exercise. I'm starting from this. I might decide to say, okay, I'm going to do 10 of those exercises, and at the end of the day, I might end up doing 5. So I make a note on that book. Okay, I stopped here. If there's a particular exercise that had challenges that I need to go back to, I make a note. Okay, I need to go back to this and fix this. So I had various books at different times. Like at times I work on 2 or 3 different books. Some on style, some on technique, some on different other things that I
Okay.
make note. And at other times, I have a journal, like a book, a notebook. Or today's date, I worked on this, I worked on that, I worked on on skill, on my hand technique. For example, there was a time I was using tick control book, which I still do. I usually make notes on my
Or your
instructional books.
books.
So
Yeah.
my books are usually not, they are not
To see.
nice lifting, because I always make notes. At
Yeah.
times with pen, with pencil, at times with pen. So basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But recently, just to help people, there's this book I publish, effective practice journal for musicians.
Oh.
Although it's not physically available in Nigeria, but it's online on Amazon, so people
Okay.
can actually order it from anywhere they are in the world.
Okay.
Basically, so it's out. It outlines different things, different categories. Time, you can put references like, okay, I'm working on this book. I worked on this tempo on a particular page, a particular exercise. My goal, okay, what I felt went well in my rehearsal. Yes, so you have points for remarks and comments, basically. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, in a nutshell, you will say that for any drummer that want to improve
mm,
on their skills and they are looking at having a proper practice routine, they should work alongside an instructional material related to the skills they want to achieve.
yes, if you can read and you have
Music.
access to books, yes,
Yeah.
it would be nice to have like some sort of books to work with.
Okay.
Yes, and there are numerous books out there. So you might need to talk to maybe a mentor or a teacher and do it based on recommendation. Maybe it might be a recommendation from a blog, like a podcast like yours,
Yeah.
like this. It can be a recommendation from a known, a respected drummer,
Wow.
or maybe one of your mentor drummers. You understand? Maybe you read after them and they made mention of certain books in their interviews. You can use such books. Books are nice if you can read. You understand? If you can read, but at the same time, don't be glued to books. You understand?
Yeah.
It's just a means to an end.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So basically.
Yeah. So, what are the practice mistakes to avoid? Like during your practice time, what are the mistakes you should avoid as a drummer?
Number one is not having a plan for your practice
Mm.
session. If you don't have a plan, you just go into your practice room and you just play whatever comes to mind. Not having a plan. Some might say, hey, I go in and I play and I just play, and from there I move on. Yeah, you can go in and play something and you encounter a problem and you encounter a challenge, you understand, and
Yeah.
from there you can now create a plan from that challenge and develop. So number one problem you can have is not having a plan in rehearsal. And number two is you have to know what the purpose of rehearsal is to develop yourself, is to work on your weaknesses, on things that you don't know how to do, things that are difficult for you to do, and not to shed and not to impress yourself
Yeah.
or
Or make
impress
yourself happy.
happy or impress people. Maybe you have somebody who came around to watch you practice. So your rehearsal session should always be one to challenge yourself. So oftentimes, if you come out of your rehearsal room and you're feeling cool, you're on top of the
Mhm.
world, then probably you're not practicing.
Eating it right.
you're not eating it right. You're probably just playing what you know how to play rather than trying to play what you don't know how to play yet.
Yeah. My next question would have been, what are the biggest misuse of practice time? But you've mentioned that on what are the practice mistakes
Yeah.
to avoid. Now, okay, so as a drummer now, I've been able to list out what skills I need to improve on. Is it my hand techniques, my foot techniques? Then I've been able to get instructional materials. Then does your kit matters too?
Your kit.
Yeah, does your kit affect or your practice materials? Maybe your drum
Your
pad,
practice gear.
your gears. Do they affect your practice time too, or do they have effect on improving your practice time?
Yeah, they do have effect one way or the other. I see a lot of people use practice pad because you keep eating wood, keep eating pads,
Rubber.
and the like. So the other thing I advise people when that's all they have, I try to tell them that play this thing as if you are playing a real drums. Play as soft and dynamic as possible, loud and stuff. Because oftentimes you realize that people who are using practice pad kit, they play really hard. It has its advantages.
So the fluidity might not be there.
They feel the tone. They might be fluid in terms of moving around very far, but the tone, the touch, the feel, the touch will be missing because the way your stick reacts to a snare surface, a snare drum surface, is different from the way it reacts to a right cymbal, different from the way it reacts to a crash, to a hi-hat cymbal, to tom one, even let alone floor tom. You understand? So using a practice pad might not in a long run be advisable, but if that's what you have for now, use it. Then as you grow as a drummer, opportunities will come whereby you probably be able to
get access
to a drum kit or save enough money to buy your own drum set. You understand? But it's always advisable. I've been privileged to practice on a drum kit over time. You understand? So I've been privileged to practice on a drum kit right from inception. Yes, I use practice pad for my sticking. I've never had a practice pad kit. I've never had one because right from the onset I've had one church or one studio, and eventually I got my own kit. Yeah, I know part of the challenges is where to put your drum kit and not disturb your neighbors and all of that. You understand?
I'm also guilty of that. I have my own practice pad kit. You know, do I have a drum? I have a drum kit, but now the issue is
where to set it up and not disturb people. Yes. So the other way around it is if you live if you're in a neighborhood that you have a big compound, you can take it to one end of the compound and just sit there. The disturbance will be minimal because it will be coming from the sound be coming from afar. Do you understand? But I would always advise people, regardless if you use a practice pad kit, make sure you use a drum set.
One last word for drummers that are listening. I know you are a very good drum teacher. I remember meeting you about 10 years ago, and then I came in to meet you at where you have your store now. You know, and one thing you said, you just scribble something on my book that go and learn proper hand technique first. The French grip, the German grip, the American grip, the traditional grip. And yeah, that helps a lot in my drumming career. And I could say that that little thing you scribbled has been one thing that even when people come to me that I want to learn, especially if they are beginning drummers, you know, I tell them, okay, you have to learn a proper hand technique first. So what is that one thing you will tell drummers, be it beginning drummer, intermediate, advanced drummer, as they are starting?
The one thing I would say is always be open to learn. No one is an island of knowledge. No one is. You don't know it all. As a beginner, intermediate drummer, or an advanced drummer, there's always something you don't know that somebody else knows. And having an open mind will actually do you great service than disservice. But if you come with a mindset, oh, I know I've been playing for 20 years, things are changing. There are new styles of music. new discoveries. Things are evolving. So if you come with that attitude, you won't grow. You over time you become irrelevant. You become obsolete, kind of expired. You understand? For example, like Steve Smith used to be a rock and roll drummer or a rock drummer, and over time he morphed into a proper jazz drummer. He used to use match grip. He was an adult when he moved swapped to
Traditional grip.
an adult. I don't know the exact age, but I think he was past his 30s or maybe even close to his 40s when he made the change. So regardless of your age, your level, there's always something you can change. There's always something you can learn. So with that attitude, you can learn anything. You can pick up anything. Anything. That's I said, attitude is key. So I could as well say, oh, work on your techniques. Techniques are important. Work on
Your musicianship.
Work on your work ethics, your communication skills. All of that are things that you can learn.
Yeah.
So once you have the right attitude towards learning, you realize that you will attract a lot of things. I always tell people that I learn a lot from beginners because for a beginner, he doesn't have set rules. As an intermediate or an advanced drummer, if you're not careful, you say, oh, this is how you play this thing. This is how you play this. And once you have set rules, you are not giving room to
exploring new things,
to creating new things, to exploring and perhaps discovering new things because you now have a set mind. Yes, there has to be rules to guide people when you're learning, when you're starting out. Then I always tell people after a while, there's no just like time signature. We have 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 6/8. After a while, for if I'm teaching a beginner, I'll set those rules. These are simple time, compound time. These are odd meters. Then this compound time is a derivative of this simple time and all of that. I will explain it. But after a while, when you get to a certain level, I tell people there's no times, there's just one linear time signature. Everything is reference. What you take your reference, 2/4. 4/4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I decided to count in 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
I can start to count in
I can count in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still on the same grid, you understand? But the thing is, just have an open mind, an attitude of a learner, you understand? With that, if anybody comes to you, even if somebody that you feel you know more that you can play better comes with you with some fresh ideas, you'll be able to accept and assimilate it and learn from them. So I think the best thing is just to stop this attitude of competing. Oh, this person is better than that person. That person is. Nobody's an island of knowledge. You understand? Where you are good,
and this is a creative industry.
Yeah, somebody might be very vast in playing high life, and somebody is very vast in playing funk. And the funk person, because funk is vastly known worldwide, you feel you are better than the person that plays high life. No, or you are better than the person that plays Fuji. Let them put you in that Fuji style of music.
And come and perform.
You will fail woefully. Except you learn it. It's like a language. You understand? You have to learn it. Some can just be quite versatile in terms of the ability to play different styles, and because it's the same notes, same subdivision. It's just the grouping, the arrangement, the placement, the feel, the interpretation. Are you playing ahead, behind, or on beat? That makes all of the difference. You understand? Basically. So I always tell people, and for people listening to this episode, just have an open mind to learn. Be critical of yourself, but at the same time, don't take it too seriously. And also always ask yourself, why did I pick this instrument in the first place? Because you just love it, you like eating stuff. Don't lose that, because when you get hard on yourself, it might lead into, I don't want to use the word depression. You understand? When you get too hard on yourself, begin to compare yourself to others.
And you might want to lose focus.
Exactly. So just try to be a better version of yourself every time.
Yeah. So what does the new year look like for you? What are you up to in terms of your band, in terms of, you've been writing instructional materials. You released your first book on how to play Afrobeat. And you just mentioned one. And what's the new
Well, I started work on another book, although the progress has been slow.
Okay.
That's going to chronicle more Nigerian styles of music. You understand? So it'll be basically a drum instructional book, not just for Afrobeat. It will be for different styles. So you're gonna have highline, juju, and some other styles, and maybe even some West African styles as well. So people can easily pick and learn those styles of music. And I also will be releasing an album in the first quarter of next year.
Okay.
Then I also intend to. Lately, I've been thinking about my social media page, how to refocus it. So I'll be doing lots of work on that. Then my baby project, Drum Cutters. Yes. So we'll be doing lots of that
work.
Yes. So
come 2023.
Come 2023. So we have more drummers to showcase. And there'll be lots of this is a wonderful podcast. We also intend to go on podcast as well. So we'll be more of repurpose some of our content on YouTube to audio, so people while driving you can listen and at the same time. So we'll be doing that as well with drum quarters. Then hopefully we'll start we'll be doing lots of teaching as well. Lot of teaching, boot camps. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day boot camps. Then weekly lessons, free lessons for our subscribers as well. So
that makes sense. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm sure your new single Bamloju will be on the album.
Yes, it's going to be on the album. And there's a newer version of Pala. And there will be some other new ones.
I saw that recently you explained the groove you played.
Yes. On the intro, yes. The main groove, I'm going to put it out on social media very soon. So people will be able to see it as well.
All right. Thank you. So you can find Uncle Mike on Instagram, on YouTube, Michael Oloyede. If you just go to Google, search for Michael Oloyede, I'm sure you are going to see links to all of his social media page and his works too. And we are also going to be putting that in this show notes for you to easily have access to his social media page and all of his books. Thank you all for listening. See you all in the next episode. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to this show by searching for Drummersville Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and don't forget to also follow us on all social media at Drummersville on Instagram, at Drummersville on Twitter, at Drummersville on YouTube. You can also join the Drummersville community by going to bit.ly/join Drummersville, bit.ly/join Drummersville, and be the first to hear about all new episodes and receive our weekly newsletter. Thank you.